So, Virginia is standing at a major crossroads right now. A brand new recreational cannabis market is about to be born. But before the doors even open, this huge question is just hanging in the air. Who is this market really for? Is it going to be a fair shot for local entrepreneurs, the people who want to build up their own communities? Or is it going to become a playground for corporate giants? And really, what we're looking at here is a classic David versus Goliath story. On one side, you've got your local Virginia-based entrepreneurs. They're hoping to reinvest their profits right back into their own towns. On the other side, you have these massive multi-state operators, giants who already have a huge foothold and are just looking to expand their empire. This whole fight, it's not just about who's selling what. It's about who gets to write the rules for the future of cannabis in Virginia. So that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Who is going to get to build this new future? And the answer is being written as we speak, buried in the fine print of all these new laws and regulations. All right, so first up, let's dive into one of the biggest roadblocks for any small business trying to get started. This absolute maze of confusing and, frankly, kind of bizarre rules that seem almost designed to make them fail. Okay, take this for example. This is from a hemp entrepreneur named Graham Redfern, and he's talking about this really weird regulation called the 25-to-1 rule. It forces a specific ratio of CBD to THC. But the thing is, as he points out, it wasn't based on science. It wasn't based on what customers want. It was just made up behind closed doors. And you can see just how nonsensical this rule is when you break it down, right? You start with a totally normal 50 milligram THC gummy. But then, to follow the rules, you have to cram in a whopping 1,250 milligrams of CBD. The result? A product that nobody asked for, that's way more expensive to make, and is just bulky. It's a perfect example of a regulation creating a problem, not solving one. And it's not just Virginia's own rules that are the problem. There's this massive federal proposal looming on the horizon. And if this thing passes, well, it could be a complete extinction-level event for the current hemp market. We're talking a 98% wipeout, just gone. And Graham Redfern explains just how devastating this would be. And listen, this isn't just about the stuff that gets you high. He points out that this tiny THC cap, it would kill products like CBD dog treats, wellness tinctures. Pretty much the entire functional hemp industry as we know it would just vanish. So you've got this maze of bad rules, right? But on top of that, there's an even bigger problem. The whole game seems rigged from the start. The playing field is just not level, and it's tilted heavily in favor of the big, established corporations. Yeah, industry advocate Joe Domino, he doesn't mince words. He says the system is creating a built-in monopoly before the doors for recreational sales even open. He explains that the medical cannabis operators, they already have this massive leg up with a whole structure that lets them control the market from day one. So what does that advantage actually look like? Well, the big guys, the multi-state operators, or MSOs, they can get multiple licenses, they've got the infrastructure, they're ready to go. Meanwhile, the small local entrepreneurs, they're starting from scratch, facing insane barriers, and they're often stuck with just a single license. It's not a head start. It's like they're running two totally different races. And speaking of high barriers, get a load of this number. Just to apply for a license in Virginia, it'll cost you $13,500. That's not to get the license, that's just to apply. And it's the highest application fee in the entire country. But wait, it gets worse. Here's the real kicker. In most other states, if you apply and you get denied, you get that fee back. It's fair, right? Not in Virginia. Here, it's a non-refundable gamble. For a small business, losing over 13 grand could be a dream killer. For a giant corporation, it's literally a rounding error on their balance sheet. And this really gets to the economic heart of the whole debate. Joe Domino makes a fantastic point. When local businesses succeed, that money stays right here in Virginia. It gets reinvested in the community. But the big MSOs, a lot of their profit gets funneled right out of state. So this isn't just about who gets to sell cannabis, it's about who actually benefits, Virginia's own communities or shareholders hundreds of miles away. And it's so important to remember, these aren't just abstract rules and numbers we're talking about. These policies have a real, profound, and sometimes heartbreaking impact on the lives of actual Virginians. I mean, listen to this story from Dawn Morris. She just got out of prison for a distribution charge for products that are about to be totally legal. But because the conviction is recent, she's automatically blocked from getting a license. Think about that. The very system that punished her is now locking her out of the new legal market. It's just a cruel, cruel irony. And as if that's not frustrating enough, Dawn points out that while she's trying to do everything by the book, she's watching other stores openly sell illegal products and just make a fortune. The compliant shops are losing business because enforcement is all over the place. It's a system where trying to do the right thing actually puts you at a disadvantage. Okay, so I know this all sounds pretty bleak, but this isn't the end of the story. Virginia is at a crossroads, yes, but that also means it has a rare, incredible opportunity to build a much better, much fairer system for everyone. And here's a huge piece of good news that could be a game changer. A federal court has actually confirmed that Virginia has the full legal power to regulate its own hemp industry. What does that mean? It means the state doesn't have to wait around for the feds to figure things out. It can create its own stable, common sense rules, like right now. So, what could a better system actually look like? Well, a lot of experts are suggesting a balanced model. You'd have the new recreational market for adult use customers, and the existing hemp market could fill in the gaps and keep providing all those wellness products. The analogy here is perfect. It's just like the alcohol industry, right? Beer, wine, and liquor all exist together. They're not wiping each other out. They're all just different parts of one big functioning market. And that really brings us full circle, back to the big picture. Like Joe Domino says, Virginia has a chance to do something really special here, to be a national leader. By building on what they already have, they can show the entire country how a fair, stable, and prosperous cannabis industry can work for everyone, especially the local businesses and consumers. So that's really the choice on the table for Virginia. Is it going to build a fair market that becomes a model for the whole nation? Or is it just going to hand the keys over to a monopoly before the race even begins? The path they choose now is going to decide everything. The stakes just couldn't be higher.